I'm out for my morning walk and I'm looking for the beauty in everything, which is not so challenging on a beautiful morning. But I find when I'm moving and I'm in movement, it's easy for me to hold these positive feeling states. You're always taking in something new. You're always stimulated, and you're literally in the opposite state to stagnancy. I've done my morning meditation, which is just a focused gratitude session for about half an hour, holding that frequency, feeling of gratitude, some natural visualization to where I was led of the next stage in my life, in my story that I am creating from where I am now. And as I walk along, before I decided to turn the camera on, I'm focusing on my feeling states and on every thought, making every thought positive, making every thought serve me. So especially for me in the area of how I view myself, instead of falling into the old patterns of regretting past things I've done, I thank myself for past achievements, which has been plenty. So choosing to focus on the positive instead of the negative, which is a really big one for me. That's been an area I've fallen down in for like ever. So that being said, I have manifested amazingly in the past through deliberate, conscious inputs, where I go, this is what I want, and I'm going to focus on that. And self-doubt, lack of self-worth aside, negative thoughts as such is a kind of, the negative thoughts for me are like a constant. If you could identify the kind of fish that was swimming around, if we want to think of thoughts as fish, if you want to identify the sorts of fish that were swimming around in my mind most of the time, they're negative fishes, they're doubtful fish, they're fish that are constantly nibbling away at my self-view, and that's how my thoughts have been for forever. But that being said, you can still manifest amazingly while having a mind that is afflicted by that kind of, negativity and self-doubt. You don't have to be perfect in all ways and all round to manifest deliberately. Yes, we're always manifesting automatically and subconsciously, but I think there's a bit of a belief out there that you can't be a deliberate or conscious manifester if you haven't got everything in alignment first. That's not true, but it always does help to have everything in alignment. So there's been a lot of times where I've manifested really amazing things just through meditation. Okay, I first discovered this accidentally in 2014. I didn't even know what manifestation was. It took me a few years to work out in retrospect what I'd done, but it definitely works. And to give an example of one of the more recent occasions where I used this system of attracting what it was that I desired, there was a camp trailer, an off-road camper trailer that I'd always wanted, like a teardrop trailer. I just think they're really, really cool. And there was this off-road one that I'd found, and I'd been working a lot for 6 years in my business non-stop, and I was really wanting one of these trailers because really what I was wanting was freedom. I was wanting a holiday. I was wanting to get away from the grind, and this trailer represented to me everything that I felt I was missing and that I really desired. I started to think that I wanted to do a really big holiday, do a lap of the country, and I wanted this trailer to do it. So because I was feeling a bit unhappy at the time and a bit unbalanced, the way I would start my day, I was getting up pretty early. I get up pretty early. I was getting up at 4 a.m., which isn't a bad thing. And I would go into a deep meditation, because that meditation was my happy place. And in that happy place, every morning, I would visualize this trailer clearly, sitting there in my driveway or in my life, and I was just loving this image and feeling the freedom and the joy and how good it would feel to be able to just roam around in this trailer. And I'd go into like deep states, down to theta brainwaves. I'd be doing this for half hour, 45 minutes. It was peaceful for me. There was no thought. It got me out of the anxiety and doubt and negative thoughts that I was plagued with in my waking periods. And I've always been like that. So I've had a lot of negativity, self-sabotaging stuff operating in my waking hours. But when I sit down to focus and meditate, I can clear all that. But I still have the stuff operating there in between. It's like I've never actually bothered to do the work to clear out the weeds in between, which is what I'm doing now. But anyway, back to the story. I would sit there and I'd focus on this trailer. It was my happy place. Okay, in meditation, in deep focus, clear visualization, feelings of joy of having this trailer, like of what that meant to me and just how much I enjoyed it. Anyway, I probably did that for about, I don't know, maybe 3 months. I kind of let it go for a bit. I got up one day, I was at work making coffee, and I'd opened the shop, and this customer that I'd started to really become friends with, who would come down from a few hours away from where we were based, and he would come down on holiday from time to time, and he'd drop in and see how I was doing. Doctor, loves strong coffee, really, really cool guy. We hit it off, we had a lot in common, we still stay in contact. Anyway, I was a bit stressed out. It was during COVID, and he said, "How you doing?" I said, "Look, I don't know, not so well." He could sense that I was stressed out. I'm thinking of selling the business. I'd really love to just get one of these teardrops and travel. And I showed him the picture, and he looked at me and he said, "Oh, I think that's a great idea. Let me buy it for you." Now, this thing was worth $26,000. And this is from out of nowhere. I thought I'd heard him wrong. I just kept talking because I was like, I didn't just hear what I heard. And then he repeated, like, "Let me buy it for you. I think it's a great idea." And this, long story short, I ended up, several months later, the teardrop was sitting in my driveway. And this came to me through a completely unexpected source, turn of events, from out of nowhere. I didn't have to outlay anything to get it. From about 3 months of meditating, visualizing, and feeling what it was that I really wanted. And I was still in a place of, like, I wasn't perfectly in alignment at that point in time. I was actually plagued with a lot of fear and negativity at the time. Those periods where I sat down and meditated and focused on what I want were my relief in a sea of, otherwise stress. So there's a lot of view that everything has to be perfect and aligned, and you have to be whole to deliberately manifest. That's not true. It might come quicker, it might come more effortlessly, and I have been in that state before with my first manifestation in 2014, which I might cover in a future chat. But it's just, if you do take the time to meditate and train yourself to clear your thoughts and focus on what you want and feel what you want, it will come to you through the most unlikely unlikely of sources, and I didn't have to outlay any of it. It just came to me. Someone literally walked up after 3 months of me picturing in meditation and said, "Oh, let me buy that for you." Like, what the? So yeah, never doubt that, you know, the experience that we're having, the world we're living in, is created in your consciousness before you experience it in the future. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with the value of meditation, especially in not just in clearing your thoughts, not just in feeling stillness and relaxation, but in designing your life and attracting what you want to come to you. And this is where I am now. Like, you can also forget all this stuff. You can do this and be really unconscious in a lot of other ways at the same time. So I've been brought to a place where I've lost a lot of what I've had, and I'm now sort of resetting myself at ground zero. And I've got to be thankful, view this period as this is happening for me, not to me, and reminding me how to plan and how to create the experience that I want to have through my inner space first, instead of reactively trying to do it with my hands and out of fear, which is what I've been doing for the last 4 years, which is bit by bit sort of stripped me of all the cool things I manifested to begin with. But it's been good. It's a good reminder. It's resetting me to square one, and it's now finally bringing me to the place where, after years and years and years of having these self-sabotaging thoughts and doubts and fears operating in me subconsciously, telling me that I'm not good enough, that I'm not worthy of, like, I've manifested amazing things, and then I have this self-sabotaging frequency running through me the whole time that's telling me I'm not worthy of what I have, even though I already have it, which obviously means I'm worthy of it. But I'm grateful that now I can be in a place where I'm actually really weeding out the weeds. So by that, I mean I'm working on my thoughts and my feelings, cleaning up my mental garden, pulling the weeds out, so that I'm just no longer viewing myself with my thoughts as negative, and actually realizing the power of my thoughts in manifestation, and not just seeing manifestation as these targeted points where I sit down and, you know, punch the matrix of what I want in deeper states of brainwaves. So realizing that in between those times I'm always manifesting, and those negative self-sabotaging thoughts are creating circumstances and situations around me just as much as those focused meditations are bringing, you know, objects of my desire to me. Anyway, quick talk on the value of meditation in manifestation. Hope this helps. Yeah, if you're out there, have a beautiful day. See you on the next one.